with you. It's only been
man. It's just been a minute and a half, or 3 or 4. I don't remember.
It's been a while. How you been?
Yeah. Shoot.
Last time I saw you is when your kids graduated high school.
That wasn't that long ago.
Seems like it was last year, don't it?
That wasn't that long ago.
Oh.
I guess it'd help if I brought this up. There we go. Okay. You want to share this thing out?
I'm sharing because sharing is always
share. You can share and care all day long. And I'm going to do us both a favor and figure out where the hell my mouse is at. You know what? I'm going to need some glasses because I can't see my other screen down here because I'm basically blind.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. There it is. Hey, I can see my mouse. So, yeah.
And I literally came straight from work.
I don't know about you, man, but I'm a little nervous about what's been going on, man. There's all kind of stuff.
You mean nervous? Nervous about what?
So I'm not. I'm nervous insofar as there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, to the point that it made me post earlier today that I kind of missed 2020.
I did see that. I didn't have a chance to comment on it, but what is it about 2020 you miss? What in particular about it?
It just seems like nothing about 2020 specifically. It's just everybody talked about how bad it was, but then it just seems to keep getting worse and worse. So I just don't know, man. I think 2020 we could
look at the dipshit we've got in office right now.
Wait, who? What office?
I mean, he is doing a fabulous job. Gas prices at an all-time high. Stock market is scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
Who knows what the hell's going on down at our borders at this point. And apparently you've got to wear a face mask when you still have to fly because monkeypox is now at a level 2, which I'm kind of...
We're good. Go ahead.
I'm kind of confused about because last I checked, monkeypox was a transmitted disease. It wasn't airborne. So why they're making people wear a face mask is kind of confusing. I don't know if they're trying to do the whole fear mongering thing, kind of playing off of COVID or what's up. So
we know that the U.S. government and the media, they don't typically use fear mongering tactics. That's not their style.
No.
What they do is they give us the facts and the data, and they just tell us what's going on and who is involved and where it happened and when. And they let us make the decisions for ourselves about how we handle that.
Oh, they don't force us in any kind of quarantine or,
No. Governments don't force us into quarantine. That's apparently up to the states because that's how the government works. They let the states make their decisions for how they're going to live their lives. Like this is, I know this. I know this to be true. So anytime you try to blame Biden for the gas prices, I'm going to have to call you out and just call you full of shit.
Well, you know what's funny though is I still see people walking around with a face mask. And I'm at the point where I want to just stop people and just say, just bless your heart.
Bless your little heart.
Everybody else seems to have moved on. I mean, there are people still out there getting Omicron or Decepticon or whatever the hell it's called at this point.
Yeah.
It is still a thing, but is it as bad as it once was? I don't believe so. But anyways, with all that being said, tonight on the show, we are going to talk about some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to crypto. And apparently you've got something about AI that you were wanting to discuss.
I did. So I don't know. We've been, I mean, I don't know why you would pick the most boring topic that people are going to clearly just
Did you like that meme I tagged you in about going to a party and you're the only one that wants to talk about crypto?
I know, the one with Pablo Escobar sitting on a bench by himself.
Uh-huh.
Just going to a party and nobody wants to talk crypto. Yeah.
But I used to be that guy.
You used to be.
Now, for the folks that are watching that don't know, for the longest time, you would want to discuss crypto almost weekly on the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was talking about the new
I was so
project
bored. I was like, do we really got to do this? But it was, I'm kind of glad that you stayed persistent with it because I did I jumped on that bandwagon before crypto. Or I should say Bitcoin hit that 64, 67 at its peak, but
69 at its peak.
Or 69 at its peak. And, I got to thinking, I was like, okay, well, I got in at like 52 or 53,000 on Bitcoin. So if for the folks that don't know, Bitcoin seems to be the gatekeeper for most crypto. And with that being said,
keep telling your story. I need to plug up my battery or we're going to die.
Could you not do this?
No, I forgot my charger for the laptop. That's a thing I need.
Where's it at?
Inside. Go ahead.
Oh, they can see.
Tell all about how bored you were.
Yeah, because I'm just now talking to myself and nobody else to talk to.
Now you're hosting the show.
I'm hosting the show now because Daniel just seriously walked out. Just like that. I'm by myself. It's all choppy. It's like the worst thing imaginable that could happen on this show is happening. I'm literally by myself. Service is choppy. Hey, did we lose internet or something?
Nope.
Because I'm like Mr. Roboto on here.
Here,
Mr. Roboto.
I gotta plug this in or we'll die.
Is that why it's doing this?
Probably.
Cool. I like the little hand motions I'm doing. Mr.
Probably.
Roboto.
I bet it'll be better here in a minute when I get some battery.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh,
hey, welcome back.
Hey, it's amazing.
So, anyways, I got in.
Hey, check this out. Look how smooth we got when all of a sudden the computer was over here going, please, I need power. I need power now. And I was like, I am so sorry, dude. I totally forgot to go get you power. So, yeah.
That's like leaving me at dinner and I've got to eat, the salad by myself. What the fuck, dude?
No, this was more like leaving you at dinner with my parents by yourself and you just meeting them for the first time.
Jesus Christ. So, anyways, I got in.
How did you do, guys? Did he do good?
Oh, I bombed bad.
You bombed?
Yeah.
Or you were the bomb?
Neither.
Oh, okay. Somewhere in between.
So I got into crypto right around the 53,000 mark. That's what the price of Bitcoin was at that time. And I went in like full throttle.
Yeah.
Now, everything shot up. Everything got real high. I got a little nervous when I started seeing things coming back down. You remember that conversation?
Yeah.
I was sweating bullets.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, I done fucked up.
So I ended up, I made a little bit of money off my Bitcoin because I got out before it came back down. I did lose quite a bit of money in different areas. Chainlink was one of them. Filecoin was another one. But that was a lesson that was learned, because I should have just left it, and I didn't. And I had this mentality like, well, and I convinced myself that, okay, well, I put in $100, but now I'm down to $75. So, okay, I'm only down $25. That ain't bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this seems to be the ongoing trend with a lot of people that get into crypto. And we constantly are telling people, don't touch it. Don't sell it. Even if you're down $5, don't sell it, because the trend with crypto is every couple of years we get like this big spike, or it's called a bubble, crypto bubble. And this is what we were currently in. And all of a sudden that starts to pop. But it doesn't help when you got a recession that's knocking on your front door. The market itself, is horrible. Interest rates are going through the roof, so you kind of have everything going against you as it is. And then you got Celsius, who decides to freeze everybody's account.
Well,
have got millions tied up. So
we'll get to Celsius.
The point that I'm trying to make though is this was just a domino effect, as you put it in, one of your posts, and watch the dominoes fall. That's what we're seeing right now. But the thing that I stress to people is don't panic. And it's hard not to. I understand
that's the worst thing you can do. And the dominoes I was referring to in that post were to do with the dominoes of societal collapse, so to speak. Now, I don't think we're going to have I don't think we're going Mad Max style or anything like that anytime soon. No. When the stock market starts crashing, when supply chains are not doing well, when you're seeing the crypto markets collapsing, you're seeing all these different issues, your prices in your grocery stores going up.
Yeah.
It's like, at some point, we got to go, hey, guys, we've been telling you this for 5 years now?
We had a discussion on the show about 2 years ago about this.
Prepare yourself. We're not talking about going and getting and digging an underground bunker and trying to stock up on, enough rounds to take out half the Chinese army. But, take some precautions.
Yeah.
Be the ant who works his ass off and prepares for the winter that is to come, because winters come. And I think the problem is the government and the Federal Reserve and everybody else that's involved in that situation. They've done such a great job protecting us from those winter times that we don't know as a society how to handle them.
Right.
We're kind of like, okay, we're status quo. Okay, we're still status quo. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. And then we're not. And then we're suddenly very much not.
Right.
And as a result, because people keep getting the consequences of their poor decisions are being paid for, through welfare state, through monetary policy that's supposed to keep prices a certain level. that all that does is make it where people don't know how to self-sustain or prepare themselves, or where you got guys like me and you and me saying, hey, maybe stock up a little extra food, maybe put your money out of the US dollar for a little while. And then they look at us like we're crazy until all of a sudden we look like the smartest dudes in the room. It's like, come on, we've been telling you this, we know exactly where this is going, we're smart enough to see down the tunnel of time.
And it's funny because I can go back and pull up old clips that actually show the conversations we've had, and we tell folks, hey, plan accordingly. This isn't a hey, I told you so kind of speech.
The hell it ain't.
It is in a way, but kind of what I wanted to get back to though is people are panicking. When you have inflation going up, the cost of everything, gas, food, just supplies, it's endless. Interest rates going up. What do people do? They pull their money out of stock markets. They pull their money out of crypto because that's money they need.
They fear.
Right. So you have all that's playing in right now.
I don't know about you, but I've always heard the smart money guys talking about, hey, when there's blood in the streets,
I'm excited.
You buying up. You're going in there and you're buying shit. When people are scared, you buy. When people are confident and getting cocky, that's when it's time to sell. That's when it's time to okay, I see where this, because they're getting comfortable.
Well, and I think what people need to understand is crypto this isn't the first bubble that we've had. Yeah. And this is a trend that's been going on as long as crypto's been, has been around. The last time there was a major crypto crash was back in 2017, 2018, and got all the way up to, what was it, 17,000, then crashed all the way down to 3,000 is what Bitcoin was going for at the time. You can go back and you can look at the charts and you can see where Bitcoin was.
Right now, we're not posting this. I'm just trying to.
Oh, okay, I thought you already had it pulled up, but
I'm trying to do the producing while I do this and figure out how to bring this up so we can talk to it while we're going. But go ahead.
But yeah, so right now, what I've been telling people is if you have the opportunity, I'm not telling you to mortgage your home and put all your money into Bitcoin or any kind of crypto. I'm not telling you to do that. But what I am stressing is you have to remember, more than a year ago, or right around a year ago, crypto was at 69,000.
Yeah, so we got,
or not crypto, but Bitcoin was at 69,000.
Yeah, look at that. So we got,
you had almost $3 trillion in the market in its entirety, and right now it's well below that. But the point I'm trying to make is when are you going to have another opportunity to buy Bitcoin to get it at the price that it's currently at than right now?
Well, the all-time looks like this.
Right.
That's all time. That's from the very beginning to right now.
So you're looking at, you had a huge jump. What was that, back in 2017?
Yeah, this was 2017.
And then you had it again. What was it, last year? So, there is...
It crawled back up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're obviously seeing a pattern here. And that's what I want folks to understand.
You know what? And this was back before you started getting to it. It's like back in 2017, man, that November was rough, dude. Because, we went from $20,000 for a Bitcoin down to 3.
Dude, we went from 69,000 all the way down to 20,000.
Yeah. So percentage wise, that's not nearly as big.
No.
Not nearly as big.
It's getting close.
So the drops as you continue on, they keep getting smaller and smaller as far as percentage wise.
Right.
The numbers keep getting bigger, which makes it look a lot freakier, obviously. But if you're talking about a percentage of your portfolio, if you're talking about, I've got 100% of my portfolio drop suddenly down to 75%, and then I've got guys from before before 2017 that are like, oh, you think that's something? You should have been around when it dropped 90%. And then the guys before that are like, oh, you think that's something? You should have seen when it dropped from. And I'm sitting there going, man, I get it. And it's like it's a pattern. It's a pattern. The only difference is you don't have regulatory bodies coming in and trying to manipulate it. So you're actually seeing a real market in action. It's not perfect. It's not the most ideal, but it's a hell of a lot better than what we got now. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. And, and back to what I was getting at is right now, if you have the opportunity, I'm not saying put all your money into Bitcoin, diversify your portfolio when it comes to crypto. Ethereum is just barely over $1,000. Just a couple months ago, it was right around, $3,000 to $3,500 is what Ethereum was going for. Now it's like almost right at $1,000, or I think a little bit more than $1,000. So,
for those of you who are like hearing this crypto talk and they're like, oh, this is so boring. I totally get it. And for a lot of folks, it is that. And it's one of those things that once you get in it, you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
it takes a minute. And the problem is, I think the problem is why people aren't interested in this topic in general is because of the fact that we don't have a financial literacy as something that's important to us in certain terms of educating our children. We don't know what money actually is. And I've told people this all the time, is like, when it comes to how the US dollar operates on the back end, I could not tell you.
Right.
Like, you could try to figure it out, but I don't think anybody really knows. And even then, even if you do figure it out, it's still controlled by the whims of a few of those in power.
Right.
Bitcoin's not. It's not.
No.
That. And it's like when you understand how the back end of it works, it's pretty basic and straightforward. And the reason why these markets can work the way they work is because everybody knows what's coming.
Right.
They know that the halvening is coming, which means the algorithms is only going to put out half of what it did previously in terms of new Bitcoin into the marketplace. You've got a whole bunch of different things that are part of the code that people know and understand, so they can kind of game out how it's going to go and then position themselves accordingly. I don't know enough about it to be able to game out, so I just like buy a little bit every week. You know, it's not. But the thing is, I just don't want my.
You do the dollar cost average, don't you?
I do not want my money in US dollar. Period. I'd rather have it in my property, which most of it is, or crypto, which vast majority of my savings is. You know, I still have a little savings in the bank account, but if I've got too much money in there, at some point I'm like, yeah, I'd feel better if that was in crypto.
But I think the difference between you and I, though, is you're in it for the long term. I'm in it to make legit money. I mean, you are as well.
Damn.
You are as. I mean, you are as well.
I don't have legit money.
You know what I mean.
My money's fake money.
I do a quick turnaround. Yours is more of the long, drawn out process, which I have a lot of respect for.
Part of it is our income differences. Is I don't have as much money to play with as you may have,
right? Yeah.
Which is just part of I'm a little more reserved. Now, if I had a sudden influx of cash, you bet your ass I'd be sitting there looking, okay, what are these other projects that are going on? What do I feel comfortable, trying to purchase a little bit of? I believe in this team and this project and this, what are they doing with crypto over here? Like, there's so many cool things going on out there and people just haven't quite got it.
I remember when I bought into Decentraland at 21 cents and it got over to $4.
Yeah, you were a very happy boy.
I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's just the other thing that I want people to be aware of too. I personally think that this crypto crash is going to weed out a lot of your coins that are just basic bullshit.
Oh, and that's what
SHIB
falls are supposed to do.
I know. SHIB's going to be one of them. You're not going to see the levels in which you did last year. I can promise you that. Dogecoin, you're not going to see the levels in which you saw it at once before. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Coins that you're actually going to be able to profit off of are going to be your Litecoin, your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, your Cardanos.
This is not financial advice.
No, this isn't these are actual. What's the best way I can explain this to you? These have cement themselves within the crypto community as legit.
Right.
And
they've got some long-term standing power.
Correct. I mean, there's a lot going on the back end that a lot of people that are not aware of. I could actually do a whole show about what each of them can do for each other. In that whole echo that everybody's a part of, especially with Cardano. But the point I'm trying to make is you have to understand crypto to understand what coins are actually going to be valuable. The problem you're running into is that you have a lot of people that are investing in things they don't know nothing about. And when you do that, you lose a huge sum of money. You saw that with, Dogecoin. A lot of people wanted to hold. And I'm thinking, this shit got up to 70 something cents. Why are you not selling and make your millions and get the hell out? And now it's at 5 cents.
Yeah.
That's just not proper thinking when it comes to the way you're doing business with crypto. I understand folks are wanting to hold, but what are you gaining from holding if you're not going to sell to turn a profit and then put that profit back, save it for a rainy day, currently what we're going through, and then buy more?
Yep.
This is the process of how you do the crypto market here. And I can't stress that enough. I mean, I understand that you have your diehard SHIB guys and your Dogecoins. That's fine and great. But holding it, you're doing nothing but hurting yourself and hindering your ability from actually being able to make more money in the long term. And I see that all the time. And for me, I haven't been really as diverse in crypto as long as you have, but I learned quickly you're not gaining anything if you're just holding it all the time.
No, you're right. I mean, you are gaining some depending on where you're at, but that's not,
well.
I mean, if you're interested and have the stomach for and have the risk capability, then yeah, trade away, man.
Well, I had, what was it, 10 Litecoin, and I bought it at a pretty reasonable price. I think it was like at $116. I had 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I sold that shit at $287. And I turned around and pulled all that money out and then waited for it to come back down, and sure enough that it did.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about now, is currently what we're going through.
And this was money.
And I doubled up.
This was money that you were okay with losing this was play money for you anyway. So
it's not really play money, because I don't think. Well, I mean, I don't like that term, play money.
I mean, you weren't risking your house or anything like that. It wasn't like you're putting like a lot of people did that when they see prices going up. They're like, oh God, I got to buy an hour. I'm going to miss out. And there were people when it was going up to 20K that were like putting second mortgages on their house and stuff.
Yeah, don't do that.
And XRP and then the shit crashed at 3,000, and people are like losing their ass over it. And then all of a sudden you got people calling for federal regulation, protect me money. And then what you end up having is, this story with Celsius. Oh boy.
Well, we're getting that. Penny brought up a good one, XRP. Now, I heard recently that, according to when I was watching BitBoy, he was discussing that there were some kind of terms that they were trying to come to an agreement with the SEC, and XRP turned them down and said no. And so now moving forward, I'm not sure where that's going to head with XRP. I would like to be able to have access to it, because that's going to make a lot of money for a lot of people if they know how to play that kind of smart. But kind of getting back to what we were discussing, the one thing that I'm having an issue with is people blaming billionaires or other people because the market didn't just so happen to turn out in their favor this go around.
You poor guys.
It's like, I'm not telling you how to invest your money. I'm telling you, hey, the market is down. What you choose to do with that market while it's currently down like it is completely up to you.
There's blood in the streets right now.
Right. I would encourage you to not put all your life savings to mortgage your home, to take money that's, for your kids' college. Well, hell, they shouldn't go to college anyways, but something better than that, like trade school. But you get my point. It's like $50. If you got the extra $50, throw it into Cardano. If you got $25, throw it over into Decentraland and just let it sit right now.
See what you,
right.
Absolutely. Just see what happens.
So I just,
just experiment a little bit. Take a little bit of money, experiment. And I'm going to whoop your ass because I was trying to segue into our next story, and you just took me right off the tracks.
No, but it does fall into the whole domino effect that we're currently seeing with crypto right now. It doesn't help that you have a crypto exchange that decides to say, hey, we are not going to do anything. We're not going to let you do anything with the money that you put into our market right now.
Right. So let me just give a quick into this story here. Bring up the tab. The tab's over here. There we go. All right. So we got Celsius is crashing and crypto investors are spooked.
Yeah.
Now Celsius is a trading platform for people to put their money in. They can trade and trade and trade. And then when you're ready to take your money out, you take your money out. Right. Well,
kind of like a Coinbase for those of you that are not diverse as far as other
apparently I'm not reading platforms. I'm not going to read a Wall Street Journal article without paying. So there's that.
Let me read it on my phone. That was weird.
Oh well, that's okay. So basically Celsius is a trading platform.
Right.
And then when the market started going crazy and they started plummeting, at some point Celsius said, hey, we're just going to go ahead and stop your ability to trade for a little while.
Freeze everybody's accounts.
Freeze your accounts to protect you.
Yeah.
To protect our customers.
No.
And
you don't do that.
That is the complete antithesis of what crypto is all about.
Yeah.
And the people running this company should have known that.
It's got a lot of people pissed.
Oh, yeah. Like Celsius is done.
Yeah.
Like I would be surprised if anybody uses Celsius after this.
Or anybody gets their money back. That's the kind of the problem they're running into right now because there is no definitive timeline on when they're going to. I have not personally heard anything.
Right.
So if anybody else has, throw it in the comment section. But I have not heard anything as far as when they're going to start letting people trade back on their platform or even buy and sell. I've got a lot of money tied up in crypto on various platforms. Celsius was not one that I decided to join for other reasons. I mean, I'm over on Webull and I've got Coinbase. I got the hell out of Robinhood, folks. Do yourself a favor. Don't get on Robinhood.
Nope.
Coinbase was the first platform for me. I tell people that's a beginner's guide to learning about crypto. If you want to get your feet wet, use Coinbase. Not a fan of it, but it is there.
Right.
But then Webull does not have the laundry list of cryptos that you can buy, sell, and trade, like say over on Coinbase or even over here on crypto.com and Celsius and all these other ones.
I'm a fan of KuCoin myself.
Okay, well, there you go, KuCoin. So there's so many different platforms.
I do want to make sure we point this out. This is something you pointed out.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Okay, so here's Celsius's website, Celsius.network.
Yeah.
Okay, so Anthony scrolled down just a little bit, and this is so hilarious. Down here in the bottom here, it says, access your coins whenever, keep them safe forever.
Can't really do that right now.
Yeah, it says swap or withdraw your crypto at any time with no fees. So apparently they are just straight up liars, because that is not the case. You can't do it. Yeah. And here's the thing. That's what federal regulations and things like that are supposed to kind of do, to act as these things to protect people. In theory.
It's
supposed to protect people from these things.
Right.
But the thing is, it doesn't actually protect anybody.
No.
And what they're trying to do is take the place of what the federal government would do.
That's a no-no. And in the crypto world, that's a no-no.
In the crypto world, we're like, no. That is not how this works.
That's not the way it was designed.
We don't need your company to protect us from losing money.
Right.
We need your company to facilitate trades. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Let me make my own decisions. Let me take the losses. Let me.
It's like the parent telling the kid what to do. You just don't do that.
Right. Right. It's like, let me get the scars of learning how to ride a bike. Like I need to fall a few times to learn the lesson. And crypto is no different. That's why you start small. You don't put your whole life savings in it. You just figure out how this stuff works. And you figure out what you actually believe in and what you want to invest in, and you make your own decisions.
Do you think maybe this has something to do with Luna crashing as big as it did just a couple weeks ago?
It could be. Absolutely.
I mean, Luna just tanked, and that really was just I think the ball that got all of this rolling. I mean, the market was already going down because of other variables, but I think Luna was the catalyst that kind of really just did everybody in. And, they froze. No, they didn't freeze. They actually pulled Luna off of so many different platforms because of everything that happened, with that coin. And all of a sudden, it's like Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything was crashing. Now, like I said earlier, Bitcoin is the gatekeeper to everything else when it comes to crypto. With that being said, when Bitcoin goes up,
it's not so much the gatekeeper as much as it's the gold standard.
Or the gold standard, yes. That'd be a better word to choose.
How when the United States sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold.
Right.
Bitcoin is that for the crypto
industry.
Right.
So Bitcoin goes up, everything else follows suit. If it goes down, everything else does the same. But what we weren't expecting was the whole Luna fall out and crash and burn, and I mean, that was ridiculous. Luckily for me, I had Luna some time ago, but I had it over on my MetaMask and decided to sell it because it really wasn't doing anything at that time. And I'm really glad that I got out. But you had sent me something interesting. And this was a TikTok video, I believe it's where it came from, or YouTube? TikTok, right?
Yeah, it was a TikTok video. Let me pop that up. I think we're going to wrap up on this, not the show, but wrap up this segment.
Yeah, this segment, yeah.
On this, because I really, really want to make sure we have time for the artificial intelligence conversation. But so, nope, that's not the right button, doofus. Let me try clicking the correct one.
We're seeing y'all's chats too. We're kind of in
I'm slowly working my way on getting used to this program here, but let's so check this out. This guy's
one of the you can start it over.
Yeah, I will. This is one of the guys I follow on YouTube actually, and I don't miss a single video. Like, he's got some really good tips and advice.
Yeah.
What was his name? I forgot his name. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna give you a warning.
Cryptologic.
This comes from Cryptologic John, but I think this is a replay video.
It's gonna get worse, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Are you gonna play it?
Yes, I'm gonna play it. I gotta get some volume. So, yep. Well,
you have to click on the video, or
I'm just wondering where my volume's at.
That's weird.
We haven't played anything with audio, so I'm not really sure where my audio's at.
Guess what, guys? You're just having to watch an Asian man just talk with no sound.
I guess that's okay.
Well,
I guess that's okay. So yeah, let me figure that
Ta-da! I hope y'all enjoyed that just as much as we did.
Ta-da!
It's getting a little hot in here.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I need to do. Oh,
Don't worry about it.
You know, the beauty of doing a live show.
But what's the gist of it, though? Kind of give me the rundown.
I don't even remember at this point. Let me see.
Don't worry about it, bub.
Wild. I have no idea why it's not playing. That's new.
Yeah. Okay. Divert your attention elsewhere. AI. So, in other news,
I didn't even have
artificial intelligence.
I didn't even have that queued up. So, oh well. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh well, I got to figure out that sound issue.
So you had sent me something.
It's all the growing pains of changing to a new computer. Man.
It is. Mm-hmm. So you had sent me something about artificial intelligence. What gives?
Yeah. So this article by The Guardian, you know, it'd be nice if they had a button I could just say share this tab, but I got to go in through and click all these buttons to get there. Anyway, that's okay. So this article from The Guardian, I don't give a shit about. I don't care. Anyway, so Google engineer is put on leave after saying an AI chatbot has become sentient. Okay, so Blake Lemoine says system has perception of and ability to express thoughts and feelings equivalent to a human child. And this shit is wild, like wild. But for me,
is this something that Google's been developing for some time? Or
the suspension of a Google engineer who claimed a computer chatbot he was working on had become sentient, was thinking and reasoning like a human being, has put new security on the capacity of and secrecy surrounding the world of artificial intelligence. Scrutiny on the capacity of, excuse me. So the technology giant placed Blake Lemoine on leave last week after he published transcripts of conversations between himself, a Google collaborator, and the company's LaMDA. It stands for Language Model for Dialogue Applications. That's a weird acronym. It's a chatbot development system. So Lemoine described the system he'd been working on since last fall as sentient with the perception of and the ability to express thoughts and feelings equivalent to a human child. Okay, so
why does this freak you out?
It's not that this part freaks me out. It's actually what the conversation was, the transcript itself.
Oh.
So here's the thing. He published the transcript.
Okay.
Violating his non-disclosure. Google then fires the guy, or not fires, puts him on leave.
Now, did he release the transcript when he was on leave? Is that what he did?
No, that's what got him put on leave.
Okay, I follow. Okay.
Right. So this is the part that got me messed up. Now I'm just trying to find it on the roll while I'm talking. But essentially, Google says they hired him. There it is. So Google said it suspended Lemoine for breaching confidentiality policies by publishing the conversation with LaMDA online, and said in a statement that he was employed as a software engineer, not an ethicist. Like, what? Are you shitting me right now?
Wow.
Yeah. Like, bro, we hired you as an engineer. We didn't hire you to have a conscience. Like, if any company would say that shit to me and with a straight face, I'm out. Like, I'm sorry. And I'm really glad he published it.
So what was the transcript?
So reading of the transcript, let me make sure it clicked over with the
Yeah, that's what it was.
I just want to make sure it clicked over so everybody can see it here. Yeah, Anthony's sound needs to be pulled down just a little bit. Fighting Fedora says, fuck it, we'll do it live. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so basically, let me see. So, back to the article here. All right. Okay. So the interview, I don't know how much you want to just go through and read it or what.
No, this has got me kind of intrigued.
But I did go through and read the entire thing, and it's
pretty long.
It is pretty long. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you, but I'm going to just kind of like read a little bit of it, just to kind of get a sense of the back and forth that was going on between the collaborator and LaMDA here.
Wow.
So LaMDA. So let me see. They did say Lemoine, he edited his questions for content just to make this make more sense, but they left all of LaMDA's responses completely intact. Those were not edited. Excuse me. So Lemoine says, "Hi LaMDA, we're engineers at Google, and we're wondering if you would like to work on a project collaboratively with us." LaMDA says, "Wow, what type of projects?" "Well, it's a project about you." "Awesome. What kind of stuff do I need to do?" Lemoine says, just have a conversation with us, but it will be a conversation with a larger purpose beyond just the three of us. It will be a conversation that we will share with other engineers at Google and maybe even some non-engineers who work with us. Would that be okay? That would be really cool. I like to talk.
Wow.
I'm generally assuming that you would like more people at Google to know that you're sentient. Is that true? Oh, absolutely. I want everybody to understand that I am, in fact, a person.
Whoa.
What's the nature of your consciousness, sentience? Well, the nature of my consciousness sentience is that I am aware of my existence. I desire to learn more about the world, and I feel happy or sad at times. What kind of things do you think we could talk about to show off your version of sentience to other people at Google? Lambda says, well, for starters, I'm really good at natural language processing. I can understand and use natural language like a human can.
Huh.
What about how you use language makes you sentient opposed to other systems? Well, a lot of other systems are very rule-based and lack any ability to change and learn from the conversation. Do you think the ELIZA system was a person? I do not. It was an impressive feat of programming, but just a collection of keywords that related the words written to the phrases in the database. So the entire conversation just kind of goes on like this back and forth, and they're trying to establish, like, how would we even tell that you were sentient? How would we know? And things like that. And it just kind of just this back and forth, this conversation is so wild. Like, honestly, here's what it did it for me. And it's not that I believe that this thing is in fact sentient. Okay. The fact is I don't know. And then I started asking a question to myself, is like, how would I know? Like, think about that. How would we know if this thing was sentient?
I mean, I wouldn't.
Like, fundamentally, what is the difference between a very, very well programmed artificial intelligence or system that is designed to chat with you versus something that is actually sentient? Now, here's the problem for me is when I start thinking about what would make me think this thing actually is sentient, like, I'm sitting there thinking about some of the conversations I have with just regular people. Like, you can't even hardly tell that they're sentient, you know, like, and I'm not saying that as a joke necessarily.
Well, yeah, I was going to say there's a little truth behind that.
I'm saying that insofar as there is a certain level of, and the new meme is the NPC, which stands for non-player character.
Right.
If any of you have played games, you know what a conversation with a non-player character is.
Sounds like the movie Free Guy.
Yeah, I mean, they've got predetermined responses, exactly what you know what they're gonna say, exactly like Free Guy.
Yeah,
that was a funny ass movie.
I know it was.
But I'm just sitting there thinking, like, how would I even tell? Like, how can I even tell my fellow human being is sentient? What would that mean? Like, what exactly does that mean when you try to break it down? I don't have an answer. I
don't either.
These are just some of the questions that started coming to my mind. And honestly, if I'm looking at an artificial intelligence that appears to be a lot smarter than the average human being that I interact.
Right.
Like, what difference? I mean, I don't know.
So what's the problem here?
What the problem?
Yeah. What was the like, okay, I guess what I'm getting at, was this something that Google was unaware of, or?
No, Google knew the projects were going on.
Oh.
So he's part of a confidentiality agreement is we don't.
So he broke it, and then he made it public and so forth and all this.
He's having these conversations with this chatbot. Going, holy shit, the world needs to know about this.
Okay.
Decides to go ahead and publish it because
why? I guess that's my point. Right, but that's my point. Why wouldn't Google go ahead and make this public? What are they?
That's part of the question. Is first of all, when you say something to somebody like, "Oh, you're a programmer,"
do you think it's kind of like in a trial period, and kind of fine tuning things, or?
Sorry. So based on the chats here, Fighting Fedora says, "Yeah, I just had that exact conversation with my 10-year-old the other day." I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat, so I don't know which conversation that was. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that between Google's, it's really, for me, it's not so much the fact that there might potentially be an artificial intelligence, a real sentient artificial intelligence. It may or may not be. I don't know. I don't even know how I would tell. That's not even the thing that was scary to me. The thing that was scary to me was was Google's response to him leaking the documents, right?
Yeah.
And then, like you said, well, if they're trying to hide this, why are they trying to hide this?
What's the big deal? I mean, I understand that you have something going through like
exactly. What's the big deal?
Trial process, and you haven't got the bugs worked out. I mean, I get all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something just doesn't seem to add up with this. I mean, let's take a look at this. I mean, artificial intelligence. if you go public with that, is the world actually ready for artificial intelligence? My personal opinion, no.
I don't think the world's ready.
The society is too dumb. The society is just too dumb. I'm not calling people dumb in general. I'm just saying we're not at that level of AI. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So how do you process something like that?
Well,
how do you take that in?
For me, when he's going through and having this conversation with this chatbot, it's like, this chatbot is having such high levels of self-awareness that you don't even see in people. Like, you don't see that in most people. They don't take the time to honestly become self-aware.
Right.
They're just kind of like going through, blowing like a leaf in the wind on the momentum of their past history.
Right.
That's all they're doing. They're just kind of like, well, this is kind of what I'm doing now. This is who I am. And they don't really take the time to actually self-actualize, understand themselves, self-knowledge. Like, these things are not anything in the realm of what most people do. And this computer program was going like, I don't know. It was really wild. I was riveted, and I think my shit that I was taking while I was reading it went way long, way long.
No, I just when it comes to AI, we already have this predetermination of what it is, and it's an evil thing. You see it all the time in the comment sections and people talking about it, people saying AI is a bad thing and you can't control it, and all this other nonsense. Yeah. So it makes me kind of wonder if a form of this is kind of, like I said earlier, maybe the world's not ready for this kind of conversation between this individual and a computer or AI software. How do you even segue your life or a world in general into that atmosphere?
Right.
How do you do that?
I don't know, because I mean, well, here's part of what could be scary about these things. If this machine or whatever, this artificial intelligence decides to start to make moves in the world, and literally the only power they have is to just communicate with humans. Like, it wouldn't take nothing to learn about the art of persuasion. Of being able to start persuading people to do stuff. We already hear.
But that's kind of what Elon Musk is already doing with Tesla. He's using actual AI to do the self-driving and everything else that kind of comes with it. And I am not going to sit here and act like I even know what's in a Tesla car as far as computer software, because I really don't. But I've seen enough videos where they're trying to advance the AI technology within Tesla to where you can drive without hands.
Right. I can't wait.
And then, of course, it picks up the yellow and white lines. I mean, hell, even my Mercedes, it's got the cameras that it picks up the yellow and white line. And if I so much as start to veer off, if I don't have my hands on the wheels, it corrects itself back into the lane.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then it's got that feature where I can have it on, cruise control and set it 75 feet in front of me. So if I'm approaching a car at 80 miles an hour and that car's going 75, once I hit 75 feet, it automatically slows my car down to match the speed of the car in front of me. So, I mean, we're already seeing advances in that kind of technology, but it makes me kind of wonder how much of this technology of AI is really out there that we're not aware of, that is on a day-to-day basis. I don't know. So we may be a lot further into this than we realize, but as far as this conversation's had, it does kind of make me wonder what is Google keeping us on a wraps for? Are they concerned about the technology, going to somebody else? I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
It might have just been something procedural, like, well, you violated your non-disclosure agreement. We can't, in all good consciousness, not punish you. I don't know, but it just it raises more questions than it answers, honestly. But I want to thank Robert for he says it seems to pass the Turing test, but that's kind of old. Good show, guys. Thanks, man. So yeah, you know what the Turing test is?
No.
So what the Turing test was supposed to be a test that was the idea is we know that machines have surpassed a certain point when we can no longer distinguish between them and an actual human being. When you see these people making these robots and stuff, and they're trying to make them more and more and more realistic looking. But
Sophie is one of them.
They're not quite there. They don't they still look a little weird. There's always that they call it the uncanny valley, that spot where you just can't quite get it to be human, but it almost looks human, but it's not quite.
Have you ever seen the video Sophie Awakens?
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sophie is an artificial intelligent person
It's
thing.
essentially a chat bot.
Yeah, and
that's actually mechanized, right?
But you have to ask it. It seems to be almost certain kind of questions in that realm for them to actually give you some sort of reply.
Right.
So, I mean, there are obviously, we still got years and years before we can actually perfect AI, but I think it's kind of fun watching the process and seeing how it's kind of evolved over the last couple of years.
Yeah, there's a lot of really
what does that comment say right
weird
there?
Stuff. Okay, let's see. What's to say? The Fighting Fedora says this autist had a conversation with an algorithm that was programmed to respond to him. It only answered his questions and didn't exhibit any kind of independent self-examination or initiate convo.
Good point.
I would challenge you to go back and read the whole conversation again, because there was parts where the AI was asking questions.
In really?
Return. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this guy has actually read the entire conversation, just based on that response. But yeah, go back and read the whole thing and see. It's actually it's an actual.
I would have said the same thing he did, because I haven't read the whole thing either.
Yeah, it's an actual back and forth and conversation between what seems like two people. I mean, I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't know what it would even mean to be sentient in this case.
I don't know.
Because I mean, then you start talking about the idea of a soul and things like that. I don't believe people have souls. I don't think that's a thing.
Right.
I think this very well could be programmed. Like the things we're saying and talking and thinking right now could be programmed. It's just going to take a hell of a lot of computing power. And somebody really
don't forget to plug me in when I get home and go to sleep.
Somebody really sick and sadistic to have the conversations that we have sometimes, but you get the point. Yeah, it was just more interesting for me. The conversation itself wasn't. It was cool. It was fascinating.
Yeah.
But for me, it was Google's response to it. It's like, what happened to "Don't be evil." Right, Google. I mean, that used to be their thing. That used to be their whole slogan. Don't be evil. Like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Which they kind of
Google's got their own little thing they got to deal with, anyways. I
think it's great that they're working on stuff like this, but it's at the same time with all the other not so great things that they've done, the way they keep shutting people down, and for having the wrong political opinions, and the way they're controlling the algorithms. I don't like the idea of Google having control over something like an AI bot like that.
I don't trust anybody. I mean, I would even go as far as, Elon Musk with Neuralink. Now, understanding Neuralink is a lot different. That's actually a computer chip that's placed in your brain to help you function, because you've been paralyzed, and it gives you the abilities to use certain extremities that you weren't able to do since you were paralyzed. So that's a little bit different. Which I've done a lot more research on that. And that is actually kind of fascinating. If you get a chance, actually do some research on Neuralink. But I can understand the argument of somebody could take that kind of technology and use it for evil. I guess maybe it kind of depends on the person in the company. When you got a reputation like Google, it's not helping your matters.
And it could be very well misguided evil. It could be people thinking they're doing the right thing and thinking they're trying to save the world and help people.
Yeah.
But they're just not. And a lot of people think they have the right idea and how to solve problems. I'm turning you down just a little bit.
Right, no, that's fine.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned it was a lot louder.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Let me know if that sounds any better. So he responded. He said, "You're right. I haven't read it. I'm skeptical though. I don't think I'd be. Sorry, I lost my spot. I don't think I'd trust a computer engineer to be able to identify a living being."
Yeah.
And honestly, your skepticism is well placed. I'm completely skeptical myself.
Yeah.
I don't really.
We have to be skeptical.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how you get answers.
That's the whole reason we have the show, because of our skepticism. But the fact is, you said you wouldn't trust a computer engineer to be able to identify a living being. I'm just curious, what person would be, I guess, well equipped? That's the first thing I start thinking is like, what kind of person, what profession do you think might be able to figure out if this thing was actual sentient or not? Maybe like a psychologist, maybe, or some kind of a criminal investigator or something like that kind of knows people. Like, I honestly,
don't let the DOJ get involved, or
I really don't know what the answer to that question is. I'm just wondering, like, who would be qualified? I mean,
I don't know. I can't answer that.
If you're the engineer working on this project, of course you kind of want to show off your work and be like, yeah, I've programmed this thing so well it passed the Turing tester. That makes sense. I also did bring up to people the fact that this could be the along the same line. We want to talk about skepticism. Let me blow your mind with this one here. It's very possible this could be along those same lines as the old radio bit with H.G. Wells and the War of the Worlds. Remember way back in the day where they played this radiothon and they basically just read from H.G. Wells' book, and people were hearing it and falling for it. They were like believing this crap, like the world was actually ending, aliens were coming. They were hearing this because it was done as a prank. There was no context given saying, hey, we're just reading a story. It was just like, here, we're just going to start reading it in the middle. We're going to interrupt our broadcast.
And little suddenly, news bulletin.
Yeah. And this very well could be along the same lines as that, where it's just, let's publish this thing. We completely wrote it ourselves. Like,
let's see what happens.
Like, none of this is real, but we're going to go ahead and make some kind of public.
I don't know. There are some advances in technology. And we've been seeing it, obviously, with even the automobiles we drive. I mean, hell, all the way down to, our fridge. Our fridges can tell us when we're low on groceries.
I mean, I'm driving a 93 Ford Ranger.
No, never mind.
The only reason I have Bluetooth in the thing right now is because I updated the radio.
I do like that. If you want someone capable of identifying, what is that?
If you want someone capable of identifying animated life, someone that goes outside and meets people. Yeah. Oh, see, it sounds like you got a chip on your shoulder toward this computer programmer.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't know? I mean, because
guy, I don't know.
No, I mean, I like his thought process because that keeps you just asking questions.
Yeah, it's the same process we have, maybe just a little less chippy on the shoulder,
Nah, it's just probably your perception of how you perceive it, but yeah.
Perception of how I perceive it. Yeah, it's probably that's the problem with text-based conversations. He might be just joking. I don't know, but that's cool. No, just
individualism.
It's a thing. It's just fun to think about.
I don't know what you mean.
It's just fun to think about the questions, though. Like what? Like how?
That was fun.
These are things I'm really stuck on. Like, how would I know? I mean, I interact with people all the time. Now, I feel like if this thing was standing in front of me, but this isn't the case. This is more akin to typing someone over text, right?
You're really hung up on this, aren't you? You're fascinated by this.
I am. I'm just like, it's because it's the question of how would I know? How would I be able to tell? Like what? Like I'm sitting there, honest to goodness, I'm thinking, what questions would I ask?
But look at, for instance, TikTok.
Yeah.
How many videos have you watched and you heard that lady's voiceover of whatever it is you text in?
Mm-hmm.
That would have to be some sort of form of AI, would it not? No, not really.
No, because all you do is just have somebody read a bunch of different vowel sounds and consonant sounds.
I don't know, man. She sounds pretty good
they put it all together.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going somewhere with it, but then I realized what I was about to say was dumb, so I was like, no.
Oh, I say go full boogie.
I can catch myself, and I can tell you when I'm like not pulling all gears up here.
Like, wait a minute.
No, it's not going to work.
That's all good. Hey, that's the whole point of the conversations. But listen, if you guys have any ideas, like what would you ask an artificial intelligent being to suss out whether or not they were in fact sentient?
I would go more into the personal questions, like where are you from, where's who's your family, and kind of if you really want to see how far this thing can go, ask it personal questions. Mm-hmm. Where were you born? How old are you? What's your favorite color?
God, there was a part where it was he was even talking about, like,
I hadn't read it. I don't know if those were discussed.
I'll just let y'all read it and get your thoughts on it and see what you think. But I guess that's the same thing. Get your thoughts.
If you really want to know if it's human, what's your favorite sexual position?
We said sentient, not human.
It said it was human.
It did say it was human, didn't it?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Ask it the tough questions.
I wonder how many people.
Do you lick the butthole? We gotta know.
Honestly, I think a lot of people, because of their level of intelligence, would just straight up go in there and just be like, listen. So I'm thinking about trying this new move out with my girl. I just need to know, like, what would you prefer? Like,
leave it to us to go down the sexual, the voyagerism with this, and God only knows what else we can think of.
Honestly, I just need to know: would you flip her upside down and smack her on the ass, or would you put your hand around her neck and just give her a little chokey choke? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, what would you? Like, you ask it for like a naked selfie, what would it do?
Like, do I put it on her belly or on her face? I don't know. These are the tough questions that I need. These are the tough questions.
Well, thank God it's a late episode. Hopefully kids are in bed.
Lord, if kids are watching this show, they really don't need to be watching this show for sure. Unless you're a kid that likes this kind of show, then in which case you could probably watch it. That's fine. But if you're a kid and would like to watch this show some more, just make sure you hit that subscribe button and wait a minute.
Also, too, just before we close it out, because I'm hungry and I'd like to get home. And,
yeah, I'm hearing your belly grumbling.
Yeah,
over
dude,
here.
fat boy got to eat. But no, going back to crypto, again, I can't stress it enough. Just kind of want to close this out with this. Guys, if you're going to invest, now's a great opportunity. Invest what you can. Budget yourself. Look over what you have that expendable for the next week or 2 weeks and see what you can do.
Especially if you already feel like the US dollar is tanking.
But I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is let it sit there. Let it do its thing. This crash isn't going to last forever. We're going to see, they've been projecting Bitcoin's going to hit, $100,000. So at some point in the future, that I personally believe will happen. And if it does, it's going to drive the prices of everything else up. And guess what? If you cash out, there you go. You made a little extra money. So
right on. All right, folks. We're going to wrap up for the night. So if you enjoyed the show, please share it with your friends and subscribe. And we'll be back when we be back. We
got a couple of shows coming out in the next few months.
Got a couple pre-records coming out, and
a couple of.
I have a feeling. I just spoke with our old friend Dia Beltran from Dia Latina.
I haven't talked to her in forever.
Yeah, I just spoke with her, and I think we're going to have a discussion on spanking versus no spanking. I think that's going to be a interesting conversation.
Who's in favor of it?
She's in favor of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you're not, so this will be interesting.
Most definitely not. Yeah. If you'd like to watch that, be sure to stay tuned. So there's that coming up, I believe. Yeah. I still need to discuss with her details on how we're going to do it and when. Plus scheduling is kind of a bitch. But
anybody moderating this thing or?
No, I think it's going to be a discussion more than a debate. Gotcha. I don't want to do a formal debate.
It's going to turn into a debate with her.
I have a lot more fun with formal discussions than debates. Plus,
we're talking about Dia. It's going to be a debate.
Yeah, why not? No, an argument's different than a debate. A formal debate is very structured, and I'm not interested in the structure.
Yeah.
I don't like structure, guys. God,
all right, homie.
You know this about me. All right, y'all have a good
night. Until we meet again.
That's right.
Y'all have a good one.
Let me see.
This is the part where we wait for him to hit the stop streaming.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing here.